ASCE. The first report card was produced by a commission under the leadership of President Reagan back in 1988. 1988, Reagan produced his commission produced a report card that gave bad grades. Problem was, 10 years later, nothing happened. We didn't do anything in this country to try to make an impact on the infrastructure. So ASCE took the lead of coming up with our own report card and looking at what was going on. And our concerns were lack of attention, lack of focus, and each time we delayed, the price tag went up. It's the old story, pay me now or pay me a lot more later, and that's what's happening. We did the report card in 2005, and the price tag for fixing our infrastructure back then was $1.6 trillion. Well, the latest report card, which we did in 2009, was $2.2 trillion. Not going in the right direction because of lack of focus, lack of attention, lack of investment. Now, of that $2.2 trillion, a first reaction, that's obviously a huge number. Half of the money is in current programs. So roughly $1.1 trillion is already being invested at various levels of local, state, and federal programs. So if you look at that 1.1, still a huge number. But now you take that, and that estimate is over a 5-year period. That brings it down to $200 billion. Still big numbers, but it's getting into something we can at least wrap our, 2.2 trillion is a number that's kind of hard to imagine. It's about investment. We looked at the whole situation, go back to the Eisenhower administration. We have the interstate system because of the leadership in solving a problem. It was put in for defense purposes, but what impact did that have on commerce in our country? It helped move goods and services, helped move people, and had long-term effect. Our lack of investment today is putting us at a competitive disadvantage with most of the world. And we heard some issues that the Congresswoman just mentioned about where we stand with education and some other issues. Well, we're competing globally, and we can't compete with our current infrastructure. The ASCE has looked at U.S. infrastructure as being the envy of the world, the gold standard. Is that the case today? Well, our report card, we took a different approach this last time, coming up with a woe is me attitude and saying, okay, infrastructure is crumbling is not an answer. That's a problem statement. And we came up with 5 large solutions of how we get out of this situation. The first one is federal leadership. I think some of the things we've heard over the last couple of months, I believe there is a step towards federal leadership. The President mentioned infrastructure very clearly in his State of the Union remarks. Sustainability and resilience is another part. How do we factor in these issues of making infrastructure sustainable and be able to handle impacts from man-made or natural disasters? We need to build that into the process of how we meet our infrastructure needs. One concern is that our third solution is planning. Too often the answer is, everybody's looking for a silver bullet. Let's build a new road. Let's build a mass transit. Let's build a high-speed rail. All important parts, but what's the holistic solution? And we need really good national, state, and regional plans to look at the holistic solution to problems. It's not a silver bullet. We need to find the overall answer to the problem. The other thing we need to stop looking at, let's do it cheap. Let's go low bid, low first cost. Life cycle cost has to be the way we look at things. How do you factor in maintenance and replacement? That's part of the solution. If you do it cheap, you'll get cheap, and you'll be paying it more and more. The end result is you're not getting the impact out. And what's the first thing that goes on most projects? The maintenance. We say, well, let's put the maintenance off. If you don't maintain it, you're going to have a problem. And the last part of our 5 solutions is increased and improved investment. And that's some of the things we've been talking about, and I've been hearing a lot about investing, and I hate when I hear the word spend. It may be semantics, but to me, we're investing. That's what we did in the interstate highway system. We invested in the future. A couple of other quick comments before we go on to the other speakers. One of the things we're looking to try to build a better capacity, engineering capacity, to help do these things. ASE has proposed raising the requirements for engineers before they can become licensed. We propose that an engineer must have, again, this is futuristic, it's not today, must have an advanced, a master's degree, or additional 30 credits of advanced education before they're allowed to sit for the licensing exam. Now, some of the things they would learn in that would be financing. Gee, they better know about financing, about some of the projects you're talking about. They better know about public policy. They ought to know about project management, a lot more than the basic technical engineering schools subjects. The other thing is, what do we teach in the schools today about rail? We do a lot on highway and transportation and other stuff. There's not much on rail. We need to get the academic community involved to do some training and education in the rail area. Last point I'll make is, have we presented engineering in a way that wows the next generation to pursue engineering? Frequently, engineers will go out to students and say, "Are you good in math and science?" Well, I don't think attorneys go out and say, are you good at writing briefs? Are you good at, those are tools of the trade. What about changing the world and making the world a better place? That's what this conference is about. High-speed rail investment is about investing in our future, making the world a better place, making it more sustainable, more efficient, moving people and goods more effectively. We need to be sending that picture out to the public and saying, do you want to make a difference? Become an engineer and change the world.